those, in fact, are the people that have traded misguidance in exchange for guidance. They've purchased misguidance, selling off guidance. The concept of trade, purchasing, buying, selling is a very powerful concept in the Quran. Allah uses it to compare to the world, this world's life and the next world's life and priorities. And He uses the example of trade often. So I want to talk a little bit about that because it sets the stage for whenever it comes up. There's certain ideas that should conjure up in the mind. You know, human beings prefer cash or credit if you're the salesperson. If you're the salesperson, take cash. You prefer cash because the rewards are immediate. Somebody comes to you and let's say you sell, candy. Or you sell fruits. Somebody says, I'll take 10 pounds of your fruit and I'll pay you $20 right now. Somebody else comes along and says, take 10 pounds of your fruit, I'll pay you $25, but I'll pay you next month. So one guy's offering $20 now, and the other one's offering $25 next month. What do you take if you're a good businessman? $20 now is worth way more than $25 next month, bird in hand. Right? It's a bird in hand. This is tijara. Human beings, when they understand trade, they understand the better deal is what you get right away. Allah offers us a deal. I'll give you Jannah. I'll give you a house. I'll give you everlasting youth. I'll give you the best company. Getting a nice house is not hard. Getting a nice house in a good neighborhood is hard. We live in Texas, we know that. You get a nice house in the middle of nowhere, you get it for dirt cheap. You want to get a nice house in an expensive neighborhood, in a safe neighborhood, in a real development, around the expensive HOA, that's hard. That same house, you can have the same house. You put it in the middle of the boondocks, it's worth nothing. You put it in the middle of New York City, it's worth infinite amounts. Right? So it's not just a nice house that's being offered to us, it's a nice house with the best possible neighbors, great neighborhood, secure. All of it's being offered to us, now or later. Question is this cash or credit? This transaction that Allah is offering us. It's credit. And in credit, is there a level of trust involved? When someone's selling something, don't they have to trust the customer that's offering it to them? They're saying, I'll take it from you now, I'll take your goods now, and I'll pay you back. You really have to rely, which is why most car dealerships or whoever, if you're going to go on a credit kind of deal, then they'll do background checks, they'll ask for your pay stubs, they'll do all that stuff. Who's offering us this deal? Jannah. Allah is. That means that if someone takes this deal, they have displayed an incredible amount of trust in Allah. And when you make this kind of deal, you usually have something in writing. You have some kind of receipt. At least you see a picture of what's going to be offered to you. All you get from Allah is His word. That's it. All you get is just trust me. I'll pay you a lot. I'll take care of you. All you have to give me is your life and your money. How long do I have to give it to you? Well, until you die. When do I get my pay? After you die. Once you're being buried in the ground, your payment begins. Oh, that's real credit. That's long-term payment. You don't get paid right away, you'll get paid way after. Now shaitan comes. Shaitan says, I've got a payment plan too. I'm a customer also. If you listen to me, if you give me your life and give me your money, when am I going to give you rewards? Oh, right now. Cash. One click away. It's right here. Take it. Come on. What you waiting for? Just do it. In marketing and advertising, one of the things we study is point of sale. You know what that is? It's basically a study of how do you take a customer who visits a web page or a customer who walks into a store, how do you make them make the sale, make the purchase right away? How do you get them right then and there? You know what car salesmen do? They don't let you leave the dealership. They'll give candy out, they'll play exciting music, and hey, wait before you go. I just want you to drive it just a little bit, just touch it. Just feel it. Rub it a little. They'll take it for a spin. They just want you to stay. Why? Because they want to make the sale. And to make the sale, you have to make whatever it is very tempting, very beautiful. And so most human beings that naturally have a tendency to go cash and not credit, choose dunya over akhirah. It takes a lot of trust to take akhirah and skip out on dunya. It takes a lot of trust. This terminology is used all the time in the Quran. this is now being used for the hypocrite. They were given a credit deal, but they took misguidance, which to them brought benefits when? Immediately. And they gave it up for guidance, which would have brought benefits when? In the akhirah. They were warding themselves from harm that would have come now, or they thought so, and failed to save themselves from harm that would come forever. This is أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوْا الضَّلَالَةَ بِالْهُدَىٰ فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ. Then their trade, there's a difference between saying نَفَعَتْ and رَبِحَتْ. Ribh in Arabic is not just of a trade to be beneficial. I think some translations say their trade did not produce benefit. Rabiha actually means istashaffa. That's the alternative word for it, istashaffa. Of the deal to go through, of the deal to reach conclusion. You know how we say, we're going through negotiations, it'll go through in a couple of days. For it to materialize. Allah says their trade didn't materialize at all. They gave their part, they never received on the other end. فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. And then Allah gives finally the reason, and they weren't committed to guidance at all. They gave up that guidance and they weren't committed to it at all. Allah mentions that at the end because the hypocrite pretends to be committed to guidance. And Allah says, no, they're not. وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. Now the example begins.